The following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Million Miles Mark in June of 2013. In the video, Mark set out to document his visit to an abandoned World War II bunker hidden deep in the French Alps. Once a key part of France's mountain defenses, built as a last line of resistance in the event of an invasion, the bunker was where soldiers once monitored enemy movements and stood ready to repel advancing forces. But now, it had long since fallen into complete disrepair, transformed into a cold maze of concrete passageways, corroded steel doors, and hollow chambers carved into the rock. With only a pair of flashlights in his camera, Mark stepped inside the bunker, his footsteps and voice echoing off the damp walls as he ventured deeper underground. Almost immediately, the light from the entrance vanished, and every shifting shadow or distant drip of water reinforced the feeling that this place was never meant to be explored alone. Even so, he kept moving, eventually arriving at a particularly dark passageway leading down into the bunker's lower levels. However, what had seemed like a straightforward visit to a forgotten wartime bunker soon took a very strange turn, when Mark began to hear some unusual noises drifting up from below.
Y'a quelqu'un? Allô? Oh putain. Allô? Y'a quelqu'un? Vous me faites peur!
With loud, blood-curdling screams constantly echoing up from the lower levels of the bunker, Mark was clearly terrified, but he pressed on and carefully kept going down anyway. At times, he even called out into the darkness, trying to figure out how many people might be down there and whether whoever was screaming was in some kind of immediate danger. But the only response he received was that same agonizing scream, along with low, distorted growling, almost animal-like noises, and strange, mechanical-sounding sounds. Whether driven by fear, curiosity, or sheer stubbornness, Mark continued his descent, determined to uncover what was hiding in the depths of the bunker.
Allô? Allô? C'est pas marrant comme lague. Monsieur? Allô? Vous êtes qui? Ah!
With the limited footage Mark managed to capture amid the chaos, it was difficult to say with certainty what he had actually seen down there. What was clear, though, was that whoever had been in those lower levels had moved in a way that felt violently aggressive. The scream, the sudden lunge in his direction, and the pounding footsteps rushing toward him had been more than enough to send him sprinting back up through the bunker. As for who that person might have been, the blurry, dark, and shaking footage he had recorded during his frantic escape made it nearly impossible to pinpoint their identity. But some viewers later offered a range of theories in the comments. Some believed it was another explorer trying to scare them. Others speculated that a mentally unstable squatter was living deep inside the bunker. And a few even leaned towards something paranormal lurking in the shadows, though that explanation feels like a stretch. In conclusion to these chilling events, despite being completely shaken and terrified throughout his exploration, Mark was incredibly fortunate in the end, as he not only managed to explore and document this French wartime bunker, but he also escaped this life-threatening situation without being harmed. The following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Sir Rome in December of 2024. In the video, 3 dirt bike riders made their way into a massive concrete storm drain tunnel, stretching beneath the small city where they lived. 2 of them had already explored the tunnel once before on a trial run, but turned back early because of fear and limited lighting. This time, with an additional rider and better lights, they were determined to venture much deeper inside. As they made their way through the underground system, they soon realized the tunnels stretched much farther than they had anticipated, with water running along the floor, echoing curves, and graffiti on the walls, including ominous warnings that did little to make the place feel welcoming. At first, the mood was a blend of excitement and somewhat nervous laughter, treating this experience like an underground playground. But the deeper they went, the heavier the atmosphere became. The light from the entrance disappeared behind them, and the possibility of getting trapped or flooded started to feel very real. Still, they pushed on, determined to prove to themselves that they would not turn back as they had on their previous visit. However, just as they were beginning to settle into the darkness, they suddenly heard a strange noise echoing through the tunnel.
Yo, low-key, I think we should go back.
That's what I said.
Dude, we went like way farther than this.
We did actually go quite further. We probably doubled what we did right then.
Dude, it just does that one sound and that's it. It's just probably like a drain. There's barely any water in here and there's no line.
Wait, listen.
Like here, so we'll be fine.
I think we should go back. It's up to you guys, though. Okay.
I don't like that sound.
But we hear it all the time.
No, we don't. I swear, not that loud.
Yeah, let's go back.
Why?
Bro, because it's scary.
Bro, we're never gonna get anywhere if we keep going back, bro.
That is true. That's new.
Let's go back.
Bro, it's just a drain, bro. Come on.
It's just either connected to like a big thing and it just floods every once in a while.
That was a big one.
Yeah,
Let's just go
bro.
back.
No.
No?
Bro.
Okay. If we were reasonable humans, we'd say, okay, we've seen a lot. Let's go back. We got the footy. We're good. But the thing is, since we're such next level content creators, and I have a TikTok and a YouTube,
Bro, Sir Monster was...
we have to go. Whoa, I don't like how far this water's going up.
I think we go back.
Yeah.
Wait. Stop.
After hearing the noise constantly echoing through the darkness, their mood shifted instantly from nervous fun to genuine fear, and it became difficult for them to dismiss it as anything normal. The sound bounced unnaturally through the tunnel, like a metallic drain roar or some kind of distant speaker or siren coming from deep ahead, and none of them could agree on what it really was. Even so, they kept moving forward, pausing repeatedly to listen and debating whether the sound was just water rushing through a hidden pipe or something else entirely. Yet with every echo, their unease only grew stronger. Whatever the source, they had already ventured far beyond their comfort zone and found themselves locked in a constant debate over whether to press on or finally turn back. Eventually, caution prevailed, and they decided to head back, but even as they retreated toward the entrance, the strange noise continued to echo in the darkness behind them, as if whatever was on the other side was slowly moving in their direction.
Dude, that's cool. We don't have rides like this at Disneyland.
They got like this. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Shotgun, try.
You see how I did it? Get off your bike and pick
Go in
it up.
front, bro. I can't see shit. We're
Turn around. We go that way?
no, we can't. We have to go this way. Bro,
You probably threw it wrong.
no, we're let's go.
Yeah, I don't want to go that way.
No, we can't. Let's go this way.
I don't want to leave. Here, bro. I don't want to leave. Wait. Let's try the other one.
Are those sirens?
No, it's a speaker, G. Not really. Don't roost me. Just start off slow. Just get your sidewall drive. Bro, I've heard prepubescent voices.
Even after they had left the tunnel, the relief of seeing daylight was quickly overshadowed by the fact that the strange noise did not stop. But now they were at least grateful to be at what felt like a safe distance. Later, they tried to piece together what the sound might have been, but its elusive nature made it extremely difficult to identify. At times, it resembled a distant siren or a distorted loudspeaker. At others, it sounded almost like a chorus of voices, a group of people screaming, humming, or chanting somewhere deep within the underground system. Some might argue it was nothing more than water rushing through hidden drains, strange tunnel acoustics, or machinery from the city above. The riders themselves speculated that it could be some kind of drain or water-related flow coming from a chamber further ahead, especially given the storm drain setting. However, they also noted that it sounded different from the usual drain noise they had heard on their previous visit, and none of the rational explanations ever felt fully convincing. Ultimately, it is up to you to decide whether the noises were simply a natural byproduct of the tunnel and its drainage system, or whether something far more sinister was waiting for them on the other side. If you've enjoyed the video so far, it would mean a lot if you considered subscribing. Over 95% of you watching haven't subscribed yet. Your support really helps the channel grow, and in return, I promise to keep bringing you guys the best quality content. Now let's get back to the video. The following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Steve Ronan in August 2016. In the video, Steve, along with several fellow explorers, ventured into Ape Cave, a long lava tube cave system near Mount St. Helens in Washington, USA. They intended to follow the underground passage as far as possible, experience total darkness, and discover what it felt like to reach the very end of one of the longest lava tubes in North America. At first, the exploration felt more like a casual travel diary, rather than a horror story. They mostly joked around, occasionally comparing the cave to a video game, and tested how dark it became when they turned off their lights, amazed that beyond their small beams, there was nothing but complete darkness. As they pushed deeper, the tunnel narrowed, the ceiling dropped, and they were forced to crouch and eventually crawl through tight, uneven lava rock, wondering aloud if they should turn back, but curiosity kept pulling them forward. By the time they decided they had gone far enough, they were in a cramped section of the cave with rough walls, a ceiling barely above their heads, and no natural light for what felt like an impossible distance, making it unlikely that anyone lost in this section would find their way out. However, as they navigated this stretch of the cave, they suddenly realized that someone else was actually down there with them.
There's the entrance to go down. That's like from that scary movie, Descent.
Really cool.
Oh god, this looks like some from a horror movie.
Yeah, this is,
and it's,
okay, now this is really the end.
The end? Wait, this is the end?
This is the end. There's a wall now.
This is a freaking... So we made it to the end of the tunnel.
Okay. Got it. Gonna head back now. This girl doesn't have a flashlight, so we're just gonna wait.
On me.
English? I don't know you speak English?
No English.
No?
Oh, okay.
Okay, come with us.
Hey, Josh. Do you see those, the couple that was back there?
You wanna come with
Tell
us?
them their daughter's up here and she's scared.
They don't speak. She doesn't speak English.
She doesn't speak
They don't
English.
speak English.
It's okay.
It's alright. This is the way back. Alright, making our way back to John Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little girl cried.
We waited for her, we just stayed.
She didn't speak English.
She didn't know English. She was by herself and she didn't know English.
I guess her parents left her or something.
Was that her parents back there?
No, that wasn't her parents.
After finding the girl deep underground, it quickly became clear just how distressed she really was. She stood alone in total darkness without a flashlight, and when Steve and his friends spoke to her in English, she didn't understand them at all. Despite the language barrier, they were able to calm her enough to follow along, and they remembered a couple they had passed earlier in the cave, who were walking with children. Steve pointed this out on camera, and suggested that those might have been her parents. So they began carefully making their way back through the tunnel, guiding the girl with their lights and calling out as they went. Before long, faint voices started echoing through the cave, adults calling a girl's name in a foreign language, which the explorers thought might be German. The girl immediately reacted and ran toward the sound, and the group watched as she finally reunited with her anxious parents.
So that was a really interesting situation with that little girl. Like, I felt so bad for her and like so sad for her. But you know, her parents just started calling her name, not in English, I don't even know what language, maybe German, and then she just came running out.
What an experience. As we were about to leave, this little girl comes up out of nowhere, scares us, and at first we're like, wait, whose parents are hers? And she was just there alone by herself. Then she just stood there in the back, so I started talking to her, but she wouldn't answer me. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't think she speaks English. It turns out she really didn't speak English at all. She's by herself, crawled the whole way in there by herself, no light. No light, what the heck? I don't get it, no light. She didn't even speak English. So they were like, okay, come with us. And you know, eventually, I guess her parents were like yelling her name in their language. And yeah, she went back, but she started crying and stuff. It was kind of a crazy situation.
Fortunately, the girl ended up safe again and was finally able to reunite with her family, all because of a chance encounter in one of the darkest sections of the cave. However, if the explorers had not come across her when they did, the outcome could have most certainly been very different. She had been deep inside a cave, alone and far from the entrance, with no flashlight, no safety gear, and no understanding of English, all circumstances that would have made it incredibly difficult for a child her age to find her way out on her own. In that kind of total darkness, with uneven lava rock under her foot and only echoes to guide her, it was easy to imagine her becoming even more lost or seriously injured long before anyone reached her. In conclusion to these events, Steve and his friends had done the right thing from the very beginning. They stayed with her, guided her through the cave, and made sure she was reunited with her parents, turning what could have been a much darker story into one of the rare instances where an underground exploration actually saved someone. The following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Roofless TV in February of 2026. In the video, two German explorers set out to document a massive underground tunnel system that was once used as a World War II bunker. They planned to push past the familiar parts of the bunker and track down a rumored passage into medieval catacombs hidden beneath the city. Tunnels said to have once concealed part of the national gold reserves and now filled with stacks of human bones. At the start of their video, the overall atmosphere of their exploration was fairly standard. They came across multiple ventilation shafts, aged generators, and chambers designed to shelter nearly 1,000 people during air raids. But by the time they reached the lower levels, that feeling had changed completely. The air had turned colder, the walls shifted from smooth concrete to raw stone, and the maze-like corridors made it dangerously easy to get lost. At one point, they even started hearing strange, isolated sounds in the distance and began to suspect that someone might be moving elsewhere in the tunnels, forcing them to stay extremely quiet and move as stealthily as possible. Even so, they kept going, pushing deeper into the underground bunker. However, the situation soon took a very bizarre turn when they suddenly began to hear a distant chanting echoing from somewhere within the tunnels.
Das ist original Pariser Katakomben gerade. Es wird wirklich verwirrend. Also, ich bin mir gerade echt nicht sicher, ob wir diesen Bone Room 100% finden. Das ist viel größer, als wir geglaubt haben. Es gehen hier wirklich überall Abzweigungen entlang. Und ich sag's dir ehrlich wieder, das Zurückgehen wird, glaube ich, ein Rätselspiel. Leute, da singt irgendwie Das fühlt sich verdammt falsch an, aber das ist eins, ja. Wir werden jetzt ohne Licht voran. Okay, Leute, wir werden. Was ist das?
After hearing the chanting, the explorers immediately pulled back and headed away from the sound, moving cautiously into a different section of the bunker. But even after their retreat, the noises continued, leaving them even more baffled as to why someone was singing inside the bunker so late at night. They later whispered about what it might have been, and came up with several logical and not-so-logical explanations. They suspected it could have been a lone monk or an underground religious figure using the depths of the bunker as a hidden place to pray, or even a secret church community meeting illegally, holding services far from the public eye. In the worst case, they feared it had been some sort of occult gathering or satanic ritual, with people who might not react kindly to strangers with cameras suddenly appearing out of the dark. Regardless of who it was, the combination of the eerie voices, the late hour, and how far they had already ventured into the bunker made everything feel tensely amplified and genuinely dangerous. With their nerves on edge, they decided it was time to get out and began carefully making their way back, hoping they wouldn't accidentally be spotted, or worse, even run into whoever was down there chanting in the dark.
Wir werden es jetzt wagen, es ist mittlerweile fast 1 Uhr. Daumen drücken, dass der Mönch nicht mehr da ist, aber es muss jetzt zu diesem Bone Room gehen. Wir werden jetzt attackieren, komme was wolle. Los geht's im Ninja-Modus. Worst Case stürmen wir da jetzt gleich ein satanistisches Ritual. Man könnte jetzt auf jeden Moment der Mönch auf uns warten. Das ist ja wirklich gerade Adrenalin pur. Wir sind hier jetzt wieder irgendwo. Wir haben uns hier anscheinend wieder verlaufen und rechnen hier wirklich jeden Moment. Bitte, Mönch. Ich höre was. Hörst du das? Hört man das? Also der ist da gleich. Okay, wir versuchen jetzt ganz leise hier mit schwachem Licht entlang zu gehen. Um diesen Mönch herum. Das ist zu lang. Okay. Das hört sich komisch an, oder? Okay, Leute, wir befinden uns jetzt wieder an einem Safe Spot. Man hört ihn noch leicht im Hintergrund, aber da drüben war eine Gabelung und wir sind jetzt genau die andere Richtung gegangen. Also wir bewegen sich wieder weg.
With the chanting echoing through the bunker for several agonizing minutes, the explorers were shaken and on edge, torn between their fear and the need to keep moving. But every turn seemed to lead them deeper into the maze of tunnels. In the middle of all this, they finally stumbled upon what they had originally come for, the catacombs and the human remains hidden beneath the city, where real bones and skulls were stacked along the walls. This was certainly an eerie and disturbing sight, but it also made them suspect that the chanting and the bones might somehow be connected to each other, and that whoever was chanting was praying and carrying out some kind of occult ritual. With that thought hanging over them, they pressed on through the darkness, and as they continued moving, the strange noises and chanting slowly faded into the distance. Eventually, after weaving through countless passages, they found a way out and climbed back up from the bunker into the night, relieved they had finally escaped without ever being spotted. In the end, the explorers could only speculate about what they had heard. Perhaps a monk, or some underground religious figure, or something far darker, like an occult or satanic ritual. But without any clear footage, and only eerie audio recorded in the bunker, it remains impossible to know for certain who or what was making those sounds that night, or whether someone is still down there now, chanting in the darkness beneath the city.